On June 22, 2025, the Indiana Fever traveled to T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas to face the perennial powerhouse Las Vegas Aces in a matchup charged with strategic nuance and postseason implications. In a contest that began with the Fever asserting early control but ultimately descended into a dramatic fourth-quarter collapse, the Aces rallied to secure an 89-81 victory. This game, defined by key momentum shifts and pivotal individual performances, offers a revealing snapshot into the evolving identities and tactical approaches of both teams in the 2025 WNBA season. Welcome to Jintatski Sports, your spot for all things sports. From legendary moments and big-time plays to inspiring stories and deep dives, we bring you the content that keeps the game alive. If you love sports as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. The game opened as the Aces surged out of the gate with a 6-2 run that momentarily stunned the crowd. Yet Indiana quickly countered with determined pressure. The Fever, guided by the physical presence of Aliyah Boston in the paint and the cerebral playmaking of Caitlin Clark, methodically carved out opportunities. Through a series of well-organized drives and crisp outlets, Indiana edged ahead, closing the first quarter with a tight 21-20 lead. The early exchanges set the stage for a contest where every possession demanded precision. In the second period, the Fever continued to build on their early momentum. Although Caitlin Clark endured a cold night from the field, she finished 3 of 1-4 overall. She still orchestrated the offense with poise, registering 11 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds. Her ability to draw pressure and distribute the ball opened lanes for Kelsey Mitchell and allowed Aliyah Boston to dominate inside. Boston's timely offensive drives and a buzzer-beating 3 elevated Indiana to a 44-38 lead at halftime, underscoring their disciplined approach and effective transition play. Heading into the third quarter, the contest grew increasingly competitive. The Aces began to respond, with Aliyah Wilson igniting their offense through aggressive drives that penetrated Indiana's interior. Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray chipped in from the perimeter, steadily eroding the Fever's early lead. Although Kelsey Mitchell continued her steady scoring for Indiana and Clark contributed with incisive playmaking, the momentum shifted subtly in Las Vegas' favor. By the close of the third period, Indiana maintained a narrow 61-58 advantage, a gap that hinted at the looming barrage yet to come. The final quarter proved to be the decisive chapter of the game. Indiana's previously fluid offensive rhythm unraveled as strategic defensive traps and weak-side denial stifled their key playmakers. With the Aces surging, the turning point came when, with 3:38 remaining, a backdoor cut from Jackie Young extended Las Vegas' lead to 6, forcing Indiana into a desperate timeout. In those critical final minutes, the Fever struggles were compounded by 4 costly turnovers that yielded 11 extra points for the home team. Aggressive defensive adjustments by the Aces, including well-timed traps that limited even the crafty distribution of Clark, ultimately sealed the deal as Las Vegas outscored Indiana 31-20 in the closing frame, and the final whistle confirmed an 89-81 victory. A closer examination of Indiana's performance reveals a team with notable strengths tempered by glaring weaknesses. The Fever's early game was bolstered by the dominant inside play of Aliyah Boston and the imaginative playmaking of Caitlin Clark. Despite her struggles from the field, Clark's 11 assists and 5 rebounds underscored her role as the offensive engine, enabling Indiana to control the transition and build early leads. However, the offense stalled when Clark was effectively iced out by aggressive traps, leaving the team overly reliant on a predictable perimeter attack. This stagnation, paired with critical turnovers in the dying minutes, exposed systemic issues in late-game execution. While opportunities exist in diversifying scoring options, such as integrating more mid-range penetrations and empowering bench contributors, Indiana faces the clear threat that recurrent fourth-quarter collapses could ultimately derail their playoff aspirations. In the wake of the loss, Head coach Christy Sides and her staff will undoubtedly scrutinize the film to address the breakdowns that occurred in the final minutes. The focus will be on crafting a sustainable late-game blueprint that doesn't rely on crisis mode execution. Adjustments will include refining defensive rotations and managing foul trouble to keep key players like Aliyah Boston on the floor. Offensively, the coaching staff intends to diversify the playbook by integrating more mid-range penetrations and ball movement sets designed to alleviate the reliance on perimeter shots, particularly when high traps disrupt the rhythm of a dominant playmaker like Caitlin Clark. Additionally, mental reset strategies will be emphasized, relying on court leadership from veterans to stabilize the team during high-pressure moments. By dissecting the turnover-laden final minutes, the Fever aim to transform these reactive surges into a robust, resilient approach throughout the entire game. For the Aces, the narrative of the game highlighted a team on the rise and capable of capitalizing on situational momentum. Their strengths were anchored by a deep, balanced roster that came to life in the final quarter. Led by Aliyah Wilson's 24 points and clutch rebounding, Las Vegas demonstrated a capacity to adjust defensively, using aggressive traps and off-ball denial to limit high-usage players like Caitlin Clark. Contributions from Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray punctuated the comeback, while home court energy at T-Mobile Arena provided an added boost. Nevertheless, the Aces were not without weaknesses. Early periods revealed inconsistency and a tendency towards streaky shooting. Their opportunity lies in harnessing their late-game prowess and building a sustainable early-game rhythm, whereas the prevailing threat for Las Vegas remains an over-reliance on reactive fourth-quarter heroics, a risk that could prove costly against elite opposition. Head coach Tanisha Wright and her staff will build upon their effective execution in the fourth quarter. Their strategy will center on refining the defensive adjustments that proved pivotal, specifically the aggressive traps and smart off-ball denial that limited Caitlin Clark to a difficult 3-of-1-4 shooting performance. To mitigate early-game inconsistencies, practices will target eliminating scoring droughts and improving shot selection during the opening quarters. Enhancing bench cohesion and streamlining transition communication will also be prioritized, ensuring that the energy witnessed in the fourth quarter is not an isolated incident but becomes a replicable facet of their overall identity. The ultimate objective is to cement a balanced, proactive defensive and offensive system that leverages every period equally, rather than depending solely on reactive endgame surges. The June 22nd contest between the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces was a microcosm of the unpredictable dynamics inherent in elite WNBA competition. While Indiana demonstrated early control and measured execution, their offensive rhythm unraveled in the pressure-laden final minutes, leading to a critical collapse that paved the way for the Aces' late-game rally and 89-81 victory. As both teams retreat to their war rooms, the tactical insights and psychological lessons from this game will ripple through the remainder of the 2025 season and may ultimately shape how deep they go come playoff time. Thanks for watching Jintatski Sports. If that video hit home or gave you something to think about, drop a like and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring the heart of sports to life. Until next time, stay inspired and keep chasing greatness.